So you want to start a podcast in 2023. Well, there's a lot of dynamics and there could be a lot of questions that you have right now. And I'm going to take you through my process, give you some tools and resources that can help you really excel and simplify the process.
There is only one of you, only one of me.
So I'm excited that you're here. My name is Portia Franklin, and on this channel, we talk all things business, encouragement, and I talk motherhood. So I'm excited that you're here. And if you are here and you enjoy this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up and all the things. Subscribe, because there are going to be a lot more topics. So let's get into creating your podcast. So excited for you. Congratulations. It's a huge, huge step to even decide that you want to start a podcast. That means that you are ambitious. That means that you want to impact the world with your story, with your experiences, and with your wisdom. And everybody, I really, really think like anybody that has the, I want to say confidence, the audacity to even share is a queen in my eye. Like, you're amazing, because not everybody has confidence. If you are somebody that is creating something, I just applaud. Congratulations for taking the time to educate yourself and to actually want to make a difference, because it's not easy putting yourself out there. It's not easy to do this kind of thing. So it really takes a certain person. So I'm really excited for you. This is going to be huge. There are some dynamics that I want to talk about, and I'll take you through my 4 steps and some questions that you may have. I would say, do you even need a podcast? I would say it would be beneficial to have a podcast if you're a coach, if you just have a desire to help encourage people, and it's your personal brand, right? That kind of falls under the category of your personal brand. Are you in network marketing? Are you, talking health, beauty, all the things? Is it necessary? Maybe not, but is it beneficial? You could reach more people potentially, right? Another thing is combining your podcast with video. I am a huge advocate of YouTube. I am obsessed with YouTube. I think it's very, very beneficial if you have and we'll get into that. That's I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but I would highly recommend, if you're going to do a podcast, I would highly recommend video podcast. And even if you don't necessarily want to be on video, you can make a video of slides. If you're trying to explain something, you could use slides, or just put the audio on a YouTube, and put a picture on it. So if you are interested in that, and for details on a video without video, just recording an audio and putting it on video, and you want to know more about that, comment below and let me know in the comments and say, I want to know more about creating a video that's just audio. I can do a video on that too. Let's get into the steps that I think that are really essential for just beginning a podcast. The beginner steps to starting your podcast. Step number 1, determine what your podcast is going to be about. What are you going to be talking about? What is the topics? I mean, I have a podcast and it's Sparkle, and I talk all things encouragement. I share my testimony on things, and I just want to bring what I have learned basically to encourage women as well. So what is your podcast going to be about? What's the main topic? What is your mission? And then in step 1, you want to determine who is listening to your podcast. This gives you an idea and a vision of when you are recording, you're going to be talking to yourself, and it's going to be a little interesting. It's going to be a little weird. Like right now I'm talking to the camera, but I have you in mind. The person on the other side of this video right now is wanting to know more about their podcast, and I am talking to you. Number 1, you, only you right now. And I'm thinking about who you are, and I'm thinking about what you're feeling and what questions you could potentially be asking and what you're seeking to learn, right? And so who are you going to be talking to? Have that person in mind. Who is she? Who is he? What do they want to know? What do they want to feel when they're listening to your podcast? How do you want them to be reacting when you're giving them this information? It is all encompassing to kind of determine how you're going to deliver the information, if you will, how you're going to be feeling yourself, and how your voice is going to be. Is it an exciting thing? Is it a mystery thing? What is it that they want to know? how would you put yourself on the other side? Like, how would I want to feel? How would I want to receive this information? And that will help you determine how you're going to deliver it. Are you going to have resources attached to your information that you're giving? Because that goes all in there as well. But for step 1, what are you talking about and who is your listener? I am such a geek on this. I can go like so deep, and please, if you have any questions, if I say something that I like should have saved for later, let me expound on it. Go into the comments, please, and just say, hey, you said this. What do you mean by that? Please ask me questions in the comments and I will expound. Step number 2. Step number 2 is branding your podcast or branding yourself. Are you just getting started with your personal brand, or are you actually have been sharing on social media and you're just adding on to your personal brand? So that's a question. Let me know below in the comments. Are you just beginning your brand, or is this something that you're building onto? That looks like your colors, kind of your brand kit, right? Like, you could have a brand kit. What are the colors that represent your brand? Is there already a brand established, or are you creating the brand, right? So that's a lot to say. What is your branding? What colors? What does that look like? And that goes along with your brand kit and what your coloring is and all of that. But also, what is the name of your podcast? Are you going to be adding your podcast to your personal brand social media? Or are you going to create a podcast page, a standalone page for your podcast? So what is the name of your podcast? That kind of goes along with, what are you talking about? So is it going to be your name chatting with so-and-so, right? Lots of things, but you want to brand yourself. Absolutely. Choosing and solidifying your brand name is going to go along with that branding, and solidifying your social pages. So go on there immediately, and make sure you think about this thoroughly though, because you don't want to pick a name, go create the page, and then change your name. You don't want to do that. So you want to go solidify your name, and then go find those and create those handles for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of the social medias that you desire to be on or that you already are on. So that is step number 2, branding yourself. Absolutely, creating those colors. And then what I want to give you in creating your brand, you can go on Canva. I love Canva, just like I love YouTube. It's amazing, and you can use it free. You can use it for free. Canva is going to have all your marketing necessities, and you can create your own brand kit on there. So if you literally go into Canva and search brand kit, it'll pull up templates that you can create your own brand kit little template, and you can print that out. You could give it to somebody and they could create branding for you just by you putting together the colors that you want, or you can go, of course, hire somebody to put a brand kit together for you. But you're here, you're a DIYer because you are on this video to DIY your own podcast. So Canva is going to be the best tool for you. And I went pro, so you have the opportunity to go pro, and I have a special link for you below that you could actually use, and you could get some really amazing benefits. Using Canva, you can use it for absolutely for free, and there's so many amazing tools, but going pro gives you access to other things that you don't have when you are not pro. So using Canva to make amazing marketing assets. I call them marketing assets. If you have a flyer, if you have a video intro, so many things. Let me know below if you want me to go into detail on Canva, because I'm a geek on that too, and I absolutely love designing things. So I get to show you how I design my things. So I design so much. Really quick side note, I design every flyer, every Instagram post. If I have anything that's just like a cute little blurb, like those reminders, like a text looks, you can look at my stuff and see, but I literally use Canva for my intros on video intros, on all the things. You can create thirds on Canva. You could create green screen, on screen things that you kind of see popping up on my video. You can create those in Canva. Lots of things you can create in Canva. So Canva is my #1 recommendation tool for creating your podcast assets. So creating your podcast cover. So branding yourself. So all in all, step number 2 is branding yourself. Create your brand kit. Understand what you want to represent as far as like your coloring, what that looks like, and kind of keep it all cohesive, and create from that branding, create your podcast default. That's what people are going to see when they're on Apple Podcasts, and it's going to be sitting there, you know, as your default cover page. It's kind of like a CD cover, if you will, and I use Canva for that. So that's kind of the blurb. So moving in to step number 3 for creating your podcast, start recording your content. Don't wait to be great. I know there's a lot of things you work for, but you're watching this video, you're probably ready, you're absolutely pumped, ready to get going. So I would say start recording. You can wait if you desire, and you could batch record all your episodes for the month of January or whatever. You can do it however you want. But I believe getting started sooner is better. So make a plan and write a list. Brain dump all your ideas, your topics, all the things, and just start recording and start posting, because you're going to learn as you go, of course, and getting started sooner is better. My mistake in creating my podcast, I waited over, I want to say almost 2 years. I had the idea to start a podcast because I just wanted to share all the things I was going through, but I was afraid. I was so afraid to like put myself out there. I would say don't wait. And then another mistake is I was not consistent. So mistake number 1 is I waited over almost 2 years to start my podcast. Mistake number 2, I was not consistent. And still, even right now, like, I'm going to restart my podcast. So I'm talking to you, but I'm actually talking to me. Do you see how that works? Amazing. So be consistent. I absolutely made that huge mistake, very inconsistent, and it's not cool. Consistency is key to absolutely anything. And I think that's my number 1 word for my life right now. So get excited. Okay, so start recording. You have the choice to batch record your content, and I would say you're going to want to also decide, when are you going to be posting? When does your audience look forward to your post? Is it going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly? What does that look like? As you're consistent, you're going to be having your fans waiting for your next piece of content. They're going to be expecting, it's like a show. Every Friday we post at 12 o'clock. Can't wait to see you next week, right? So I understand this is so important. Inconsistency causes frustration. It causes self-doubt. It causes a lot of things that you just want to avoid in the creative space, because it's just not fun. Being consistent, even if it's not perfect, imperfect action beats perfect procrastination every time, but it literally will cause you to be motivated. It rises your ambition even to another level. I know this personally because when I'm in the groove and I'm in action, I am feeling amazing, and I'm not looking side to side, and it feels great to be consistent and in action. And so if I could give you one takeaway is just be consistent with your content. So when are you going to post your content? Is it going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly? And going back to your branding, go back to Canva and create a play, like a little flyer that you post on your post, on your IG post or Facebook or wherever you are, and you're going to post and say, hey, stay tuned for the episode coming up. It's going to be about da 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 da. And then you can be posting and promoting your next episode. And once you start being consistent with that, people are going to be looking forward to it. And when you don't post, they're going to be wondering what happened. Crickets. I thought we were supposed to have an episode. And I'm like, side note, personal mistake. Ugh, it hurts so bad. Like, don't do this. I know I have left a lot of my friends on YouTube and my podcast down because I have not been so consistent. So
my promise to myself is 2023 is my year to be consistent. Yes.
Okay, be consistent, my friends. Side note to this, when creating your content for your podcast, do you want to tie in video? I mentioned it before, but I would highly, 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 highly recommend doing a video podcast. So as I'm filming this right now, I could turn this into an audio podcast. So I'm filming my video, and in editing, I use LumaFusion. It is the best. I'll link it below. But LumaFusion has the option to, and I think any editing software would do this, but detach the audio and you can create an MP3 file, right, of your content, of your video podcast. So taking your video, posting it on YouTube, and then posting it on your podcast, now you have 2 pieces of content and you only did one thing. Get excited for multi-purpose and repurposing your content. It's so exciting. So with that, step number 3, record your content. Make a plan and decide if you are going to post weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And then decide, I really hope you do this, because right now, like, did you know that YouTube is the number 2 search engine next to Google, and Google bought YouTube? So when you're searching for topics or anything on Google, they're pulling up YouTube videos for you to watch. Get excited. So I highly, 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 highly recommend making a video podcast along with your audio, so you are more likely to be found, because YouTube is a search engine. Now, there are so many ways to be optimized, and that is a whole nother video, but you want to also make sure that you're optimizing your podcast and your YouTube. So if you want more information on that, please comment below and say, I need to know how to optimize my stuff. So just go ahead and comment below. I would love to make a video on that too, because I love this stuff. I could talk about this all day. Uploading your podcast. So step number 4, deciding where to host your podcast. So hosting your video podcast, of course, right here on YouTube, the best ever. There is Vimeo. I'm not quite familiar with Vimeo because YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world, and I want to be there. So, and then for audio podcast, buzzsprout.com. Now, I have a $20 little coupon for you. There's a link for Buzzsprout. There are a lot of podcast hosting platforms, okay? Let me tell you why I choose Buzzsprout. Now, I've looked at the other ones, and they're free options, right? Like, free is not always the best. Why I love to pay, now I think Buzzsprout has a free option as well, but you lose your content after a few months. Now, you want to make sure that your podcast is up and running until you say I'm done, right? And then you decide that you want to take it down. If you're going to be doing this for, annually, you want your old episodes to be available all the time. And so Buzzsprout, with the paid membership, I think it's like $12 a month, and they will keep your content safe and hosted, and you won't lose any of your content, and you get like a couple hours. So more details in that link below, but Buzzsprout is absolutely the best. And Buzzsprout will allow you to have your own website, like podcast website. So they'll give you a personalized website link. And then also they give you the option, they make it so easy for you to upload your podcast to every single podcast platform. So that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think my podcast, it's on Amazon. Like, it is everywhere because Buzzsprout makes it so simple for me to upload that. Let's see if I could pull it up and show you where my podcast is everywhere. Okay, so podcast info, directories. That's what it is. So directories help people find and listen to your podcast. And so here's what Buzzsprout does. They make it so easy for you to upload your podcast to these the following directories: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Tune In with Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podcaster, Pocket Cast, Deezer, Listen Notes, and Player FM. Did you even know that there were so many different avenues to get your podcast? That is 13. 13 different avenues for people to find your podcast. And Buzzsprout makes it so easy. Look at that. It just says click. That's my podcast currently, and I could go and listen to it on any one of those platforms. It's a no-brainer. It is absolutely a no-brainer. It gives you analytics to who's listening to what episode. It gives you the stat. Then you have achievements. And so look at this. It gives you a goal. You can set goals. Okay, so my goal right now is just to be consistent. Here we are. Be consistent, but my next milestone would be reaching 500 podcast downloads, and my next episode published to publish 25 episodes. Right now I have, how many episodes do I have? I have episodes published 22, and I have 439 podcast downloads. So that's inconsistency. Buzzsprout is my go-to for podcast hosting. I love it. So I will link my podcast below, and you guys could check it out and kind of podcast hack my stuff if you want to do that. Yeah, from there, I would say have fun. Have fun making your impact, because literally your voice needs to be heard. If you have a story to tell, if you have a testimony to share, people need to hear it. The world is kind of crazy, and we need some good content. We need a positive message. So recording and promoting your podcast is going to be amazing, and I can't wait. And I hope you share below in the comments. Tell me where you are at on this journey. Are you still in the beginning stages and you're just kind of hacking things out, or have you started but you're still kind of hacking things out? Like, where are you at on your journey of creating your podcast? We want to know. Put it down in the comments, and please subscribe, and let me know throughout this video if I said something that you want me to expound on. Pop it down there, and I would love to make a video on it. I need all the ideas that I can get. So what 3 questions do you have now after watching this video do you still have about making your podcast? And I want to answer those in videos. So thank you so much. I'm so excited for you. This is your time to shine. Seriously, the world absolutely needs to hear your voice. I cannot wait to see your podcast. Please share your link to your podcast in the comments so we can go and like and subscribe to what you are doing. All right, guys, I love you. I'll talk to you soon.